Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Sankalp Dyal, a final year student of computer science, and I usually make coding videos and placement related videos so that you can do good in your interviews. And without wasting any time, let's get started. So today, this week I'll be uploading the dynamic programming questions, and this is the third question for this week. And if you have not watched the previous two videos, you can watch in this link. And now, if the last two questions were in Python, so if you are not good in Python or you like this Java language more, or if you are comfortable with Java, so you can watch the upcoming videos because the next three videos, that is today, tomorrow, and day after tomorrow, they will be in Java. So if you are not able to understand like DP, if you are not aware of what DP is, and if you are completely new to this topic, so this is a very easy question and very good question for starting the dynamic programming section. So if we see the question is for Fibonacci number and the Fibonacci sequence. And the question is that if we are given any number n, then we have to return the nth Fibonacci number. So what is a Fibonacci number? So Fibonacci sequence is a sequence in which the next number is the sum of the previous two numbers, and it is starting from 0 and 1. So the next number will be 0 plus 1, that is 1, and then it will be 2, then it will be 1 plus 2, that is 3, then it will be 2 plus 3, 5, 8, and so on. Now if we are given any number n, we have to return the nth Fibonacci number. So nth Fibonacci number can be calculated as, we can also use recursion, that is the basic approach for solving this kind of questions that you may have studied. So we just check the base cases, that is if n is equal to 0, we will return 0, and if n is equal to 1, we will return 1, and else we will call this function and we will give the sum of the last two numbers. So this is the basic recursive solution that we have for this question, and in this the overall time complexity will be linear because of this recursive calls, and the overall space complexity will also be linear because of the stack space that is taken by the recursive functions. And okay, now it is accepted. And if we try to use dp in this question, so what we can do is we can create an array, it will be first empty, and then we will add values of 0 and 1, and then we can iterate, use a for loop to add the new values, and the new values will be the sum of the last two values. So in this we will add 0 plus 1, that is 1, in this we will add 1 plus 1, that is 2, in this we will add 1 plus 2, that is 3, and so on. So in this way also we can solve this question. So we can create an array list of integer and call it as f. So this is an array list of integers. Okay, and in this we can append the values. So we will first add 0 and 1, and then we will loop up to n. So it will start from 1 and we will add the last value, the last two values. So f dot get I minus 2 will be, it will start from 2, so 2 minus 2 will be 0, that is the first value, and 2 minus 1, which is 1. So f dot get 1 will return 1. So in this way we will add all the values, and finally we return f dot get n. Okay, and if we see the time and space complexity for this one, so in this the time complexity will be big O of 30, so which is constant, because like if this n is not 30, like here it is limited, so if this is not limited, so it will be big O of n, and the space will also be big O of n, because here we are creating an array, so it takes like linear space, so both will be linear. Now in this way also we can solve this question. So this is the basic DP method that we can use. But in this, if we see that we are only using the last two values, so we can also remove this, and we can just take two values, that is a and b, and we can take c as the next variable. So this a will be 0 and b will be 1, and for c it will be a plus b. And we will check for the basic case, that is if n is 0 we will return 0, and if n is 1 we will return 1. Now we have initialized a, b and c, and we will use a for loop. And c will be the sum of a and b, and now a will become b and b will become c. So that is we are assigning the next values for variables a and b. And so like if we try to see the values that we have for I, so for example if we have n is equal to 0 or 1, we will return directly. If it is 2, so this loop should run for one time. So in this way it will be running for one time if n is 2, that is I is equal to 1, and we will calculate these values once, and c will become 0 plus 1, which is 1, and finally we will return c. Okay, this is capital N. Okay, now it is submitted, and if we see the time and space complexity for this, so this is for DP method. Now in this here we can see that we are iterating from I is equal to 1 to n, so this will be linear time because I is from 1 to n, and other than this we have if conditions, so this is constant time, and all these assignments are constant time, so the overall time will be linear because of this for loop. And for the space complexity, we are creating only three variables, that is a, b and c, and we don't have any array as we did in the last method which was using DP. So in this the space will also be constant, like the space will be constant and the time will be linear. So this is of O1, this is of O1. So this is all for this question, and if you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe the channel. And suppose if we are not able to solve this question, so we can also see the solution section, and here we can see that they have used recursion, so which was the initial, like it is the basic method using which we can solve. And then we have a bottom up using memoization, and a top down approach and iterative top down approach. Now these are all the basic methods, and if we try to use some maths in this, so we have a matrix exponential method, and the time and space for this one is log n for both. And we have another method that is using some maths formula, so we have a golden ratio, and we can use this to directly calculate the values in constant time and constant space. So these are some of the different methods using which we can solve this question. And if we try to see the discussion section and just open the top 3 solutions, so this is a Java solution of linear time and constant space. So this is using a while loop and having three variables as a, b and sum, and it is the method that we used in the end. And then we can also solve this using recursion. So like there are some basic methods which we can use. If we see the other post, so it is in Python, and here also we can see that the various methods. And like in Java, here we can see that all the values are already computed, and now if we do this, if we run this function, so it will return directly the values. So it will work in constant time because we have already calculated all the values. Now it is possible if we have n as a fixed number, like here it was 30. So if it is not 30, then we can't use this method. And we can use this method when we have like multiple function calls, so this will be more efficient because it is returning in constant time. So for example, if we have t test cases and there are like t number of function calls, so for like once we will calculate up to the maximum value of n, and then we can use just the function call to directly call the values, like call the functions and get the values in constant time. So this is more efficient for that like that case. So that's all for this question, and I'll be uploading some interview experiences also, like in the upcoming weeks. Some of the people who have already cracked some good companies, product based companies, and they will be sharing their experiences. So do subscribe the channel and wait for some more days for it to come. So that's all for this video. Thank you and goodbye.